Welcome to DFS Insights, where the game behind the game comes to life. I am David Geislinger, and alongside me is David Grant Jr., my cousin and co-strategist. The teams up on the block are the Philadelphia 76ers at the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yep, we got the Lakers here again, baby. This is where we're going to be giving you our three key players to focus on while creating each of your lineups. David and I are going to give you a quick breakdown of what we like about our three main plays, and make sure to stay tuned until the very end, where we're going to give out two completely free lineups for you.
Yeah, for those who are eager for the end game, the links down here in the lineups are in the timestamp in the description below. Feel free to go ahead and jump ahead and just snatch them up. But if you're wanting to craft a winning strategy and get some depth behind the game, stick around. David and I are about to give you three key players who we think are going to be in that optimal lineup. So that will not only help you build one lineup, it will help you build multiple lineups, so that way potentially you can even win more money. So whether you're here just to get the free lineup or the full game plan, we got you covered. So yeah, Lakers again. It's actually kind of been a while. I actually was missing them last time. We placed first the Lakers game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So here we go. So yeah, we got Philadelphia at Lakers. Looks like the Lakers are coming in pretty favored here, sitting at about 8.5, 9, based on kind of where you're looking. Over under pretty decent. It's about 245, 246. 226. 226. But yeah, their last game was actually pretty long time ago. It was November 27th, where Philadelphia destroyed the Lakers by 44 points. Mind you, these are completely different teams, as one, this is before the trade deadline, and two, Joel Embiid, obviously you can see there, he's out, and quite a few players from that Philly team aren't there, and the Lakers lineup has also altered just a little bit. So yeah, with that, so kind of looking back, take it with a grain of salt moving forward, as they are basically completely different teams. Both teams are fighting for playoff positions. Lakers kind of have the 10 seed locked down. The next closest person, I don't think, really has the chance to overdo them. However, Philly is, I think, in the lower part, if I'm not mistaken.
They've been steadily falling.
They're in eighth, yeah. So no, it looks like they're pretty locked in. They're 4 games above the Bulls. So yeah, I thought, no, my mistake. That was Atlanta who was fighting for the 10th seed. But anyways, so Philly's sitting at an offensive rating 116.3. Defensive rating's pretty decent. It's at 113.8, slightly better than the league average. They are a slower paced team at a 98.36 pace, which is, I think, going to unfortunately slow down the Lakers. Lakers pace is quite high, 101.04. So obviously Philly's going to get that bump because they're going to kind of probably even out somewhere in the middle there, 9900 range. So Philly's actually probably going to get the bump in the pace department. Lakers defense 115.5, and their offense is 115.3, so they're giving up about 0.2 more than they're putting out. So yeah, and so the injuries, the typical Los Angeles Lakers injuries: AD, LeBron James, game time decisions. However, AD is actually listed as a probable, and LeBron is his typical questionable. I do see both of them playing. I don't see them in fear of losing the 10th spot, but I mean, they still need a few wins to kind of guarantee that. Then you have your typical outs: Gabe Vincent, Vanderbilt, Wood, Castleton. They haven't really seen any game time in recent, so they're not really affecting all that much. Your outs for the Philadelphia, Covington, Embiid, Melton, Jones, basically similar things. They've all been out, and so it's most recent play for the last few months. They've already kind of reestablished the pecking order there. However, the one to keep an eye on is Tobias Harris. He is a game time decision. He has missed the last 3 games. This is be potentially pretty big, as him coming back in, his minutes are going to be taken away from a few players, and then obviously the usage as well. So just keeping that in mind, that Tobias Harris might be playing. So that would be the biggest news. That and LeBron James, but I have a feeling LeBron will play, and Tobias Harris is still 50-50 for me, anyways, how I see it at this point.
Yeah, that's I would agree. That's how I see it as well. As far as Tobias Harris, first, AD and LeBron should both 100% play. They're coming off 3 days rest. I don't think we've ever covered them coming off this much rest. We have 13 games left here in the season. The Lakers got 13 left. They got the 18th hardest strength of schedule. Looking at just the final thing as far as Philly. Where is Philly? Well, they're at the 20th strength of schedule. So, they're right there at the middle of the pack towards the end as far as that goes. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, let's head over here to our key players and start breaking it down for audience here. So, before we get into it, make sure hit that subscribe button before we get into it. It really helps us out. And with that, David, go ahead. First pick.
All right. So here we are with the slate with a guy that's 17-5. We've had the last couple slates we've been doing. We haven't seen someone over like 16,000. So this definitely makes a huge difference with your roster construction. My first pick is going to be Anthony Davis at the 17.5. Obviously, at that price, you're primarily looking to play him at that MVP spot. I think him coming off of this much rest is awesome. Him and LeBron and the Lakers, they're going to need it. They're at home. He, as you mentioned, they did play once way earlier in the season. The teams are way different. However, if we look back how he's done against them, just over the last couple seasons, in the 2022 season, he played him once. He had 61 fantasy points. He's hit as high as 72 fantasy points in 2019. Again, you got to remember they only play twice a year because the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference, they play twice a year instead of 4 times like interconference teams do. Yeah, man, it's coming. It's going to be AD and LeBron. It's time for them to put the Lakers on their back and make this happen for them to be in the playoffs, because we don't have much longer of LeBron being in the league, and I can't imagine not seeing LeBron in the playoffs. So I think that they're going to bite down. They are, they're obviously favored. They're always favored, whether they should be or not. So I don't even really take that into much consideration. But it's game time. I'm going Anthony Davis. Like I said, mainly MVP. I'll be putting him at the star a little bit just for the ownership. Usually drops by about 50% with someone at that high of a salary, putting him at the star. So as a salary saver would be the reason to do that. So that's my 2 cents with AD on my first pick. Who do you got for your first pick?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's going to be a pretty good play. He better at 17.5. Anyways, yeah, he can't have these 20-30 point games at 17.5. That's going to hurt. Or you get lucky with the ownership role on it, but So yeah, speed of ownership wise, yeah, he's averaging anywhere from about 30% to 65 in the MVP, 14 to 30 in the star, 0 to 1 in the pro, and basically not rostered at all. There, so yeah, I'll probably definitely be having him in the pro, MVP and star position. Star more for the ownership play, but with that, yeah, I've kept track of his ownership in the last, the 9 games that we've covered of him so far. He's been MVP 3 times out of 9. He's been star twice, and he's actually been pro once. He didn't place twice, and both those times were against Sacramento. So I don't see him. I see him being probably in the optimal this time for sure. So I will be, pretty heavy on AD this matchup.
Awesome. Same here. So did you say you do have him as your pick as well?
No, my pick is also from the Lakers, but it's going to go with Mr. D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, I like him. I like him in the star in the pro spot. He's at 13K. As far as MVP, he does have potential, but I think there's a few other people I'm going to prioritize over that. Stats for the last 5 games, minute wise, 35.1. He's averaging usage 22.8, fantasy points 41.7. He's projected roughly about 36 points this matchup. Last 2 games, he's basically at 50 fantasy points, 48.8 and 49.1. The Philadelphia has given up quite a bit of points. The last few games they've played, they've given up basically 50 to Booker, 34 to Rozier, 40.1 to Lillard, and 40.7 to Brunson. So he definitely has the potential to do it. He's definitely stepped up. His floor keeps basically rising on him, so I like to see that, and he does have the potential to hit, those 60 plus games, which he just recently did against Milwaukee. He had 65.7. It is a little bit of an outlier, but I could see him easily getting, mid to low 40s for sure this game. That's why I like him. MVP. Typically, he's not too much owned, anywhere from 0 to 4%. Star 3 to 18%. Pro is 10 to 22%. There is the ranges that the 9 games that I've covered. So he's pretty all over the place. Star would be basically the play for ownership wise. He'll be more, I think, owned in the pro.
Nice.
So what do you think before I move on here to the next player?
Second one? Yeah, no, that's I like his 13K price. I think that I'm hoping that'll keep his ownership down a little bit, since some of the other higher price guys that we do have on the slate. And with what he's been doing recently, he's been hot. So yeah, I like everything about it. Like you said, he is, even if you're doing 10 lineups, putting him in the MVP in one, that he does have that 60 plus upside. Yeah, love the pick. I'll definitely be having quite a bit of exposure to him. Probably about where the field's at. But yeah, who do you got here for your second pick?
Second pick comes with an asterisk next to it. Kelly Oubre is my second pick here. I do like him, not just because, game log trolling or anything. I do like the matchup for his position here. However, I do like him in basically all but the MVP, star, pro, utility, even at his 10K value. Last 5 games, he's averaging 34.1 minutes, usage 26.2, averaging about 32.9 fantasy points. He's projected roughly 31.7, so that's definitely basically the lower multiplier, and even at the 10K value, sneaking him in the utility is still not even a bad play. So this comes with the asterisk, as most of this has come with Tobias Harris out. Tobias Harris has been out the last 3 games where he basically scored 46, 52, and 26 fantasy points, basically boosting his average up. He's averaging 41 points fantasy points without Harris, 35.8 minutes, and 26.7 usage. So everything actually goes up. If you basically go the last 3 games vice the last 5. So I'm putting the caveat there. I do like him. He is a solid play even with Harris, but not as well. If Harris comes back, I think I'll have more Harris than Oubre because Harris, I believe, will take some minutes and usage away from Oubre here. But as far as that, this is why you gotta stay tuned to that breaking news with the NBA. I think people also might be seeing, Harris come back, so they might kind of maybe be fading Oubre, just like I'm saying. But I do still see him as a very good play, and even a better play if Tobias Harris remains out.
Right on. Yeah, that is actually my second play as well as Oubre. He's actually my final play is my favorite play on the slate. But this is very close. I love watching Kelly Oubre play basketball. On the Suns, he crushed. On the Wizards, he crushed. This guy's bounced around the league. I was hoping the Kings were going to land him. Everywhere he goes, he does it all. He stuffs the stat sheet. I mean, besides the 18 points against Phoenix, he had 5 boards, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals, only 2 turnovers. He had 5 blocks against Miami, only 2 turnovers. The big question with him, it's usually like, is his shot going to be falling? Because he's kind of like a 3-and-D guy. The nights where he doesn't score as high is typically because the ball just isn't going in the bucket. However, as of late, he's been doing really well. He's had the hot hand. Tobias Harris being 11,000, he's actually. I was reading some remarks even from the coach, from him. He's even been in a slump, but before the injury. If you even check some of his numbers, I mean, against New York, he played 26 minutes, had 2 real-life points, 12 fantasy points. Now, don't get me wrong. He played New York back-to-back. The game before, he had 38 minutes, 11 points, 12 boards, 2 steals, and 31 fantasy points. But overall, he is all over the place. Oubre, to me, is more consistent and has the hot hand right now. So I could see Oubre. I could see them sticking it out with Oubre, giving Tobias either less minutes if he does play. Even if Tobias plays, I'll be heavier on Oubre, hoping people go to Tobias because Oubre can still have a great night. He's playing the Lakers. The Lakers turn the ball over, and he's a small forward / power forward, so he's not quite a big, but he's big for his position. And we know what bigs do to Los Angeles. I'll be over the field on him. As far as the positioning, I like him at the pro spot a lot. Definitely more so than the utility. Sneaking him into star might be a little advantageous, but I'll be having him most of my exposure of him at the pro. Is how my roster construction's been going. So going in here into my last pick, I'm going to go with Mr. Mo Bamba.
Copyright claim.
Yeah. So as our saying here on DFS Insights, it is always play bigs versus the Lakers. Now, yes, you're going to say, well, what about Paul Reed? I know, right? Yeah, that should be our trademark. Now, there is Paul Reed, who is at 9.5. I'm sure he'll be. I think he'll be starting, even though it says Mo Bamba is the expected starter. Either way, I'll be having access to both of them. But Mo Bamba at 7.5, LA's at, they give up 40 fantasy points to centers, like is what they average, which is insane. Bomba's minutes have been up to 22 minutes a game over the last 3 games versus 15 minutes over 33 games. He is a fantasy point per minute beast when he gets in. You know, these stats on here are a little misleading that I'm looking at. So, like, it's saying his fantasy point per minute over the last 5 games is 0.89. But what it really comes down to is I could see him getting, I could see him, if he gets 28 minutes, which he easily could, he's going to absolutely destroy his price, his 7,500. But if he only plays 16 minutes, he can still hit 25, 30 fantasy points. So regardless of the minutes, at 7,500, I'm hoping more people will be on Paul Reed than on Mo Bamba, since Reed is only 2,000 more, and he does have the steadier minutes and everything. I will be having exposure to both, but Mo Bamba at 7,500, I can't get away from playing Mo Bamba. So that's my final pick. It will be at utility. I'm not gonna even. It'll only be in utility. I'm not even gonna try him at pro. There's too many other stars and people to put in the multiplier. This is a utility play for me only. What are your thoughts on that? Who do you got here for your last pick?
Yeah, I'm going to second it, as I do adhere to the DFS saying of bigs against the Lakers. So, yeah, like you mentioned, Mo Bamba, he is going to be the starter, at least for all the websites I see, and even Fanduel's mentions under his, news that, 76ers Mo Bamba starting on Friday, Paul Reed coming off the bench. Mind you, that I guess is old news, but I think he is kind of starting over Paul Reed. The only issue I don't like is that the minutes he might be starting, but he's not getting the starter minutes. He's averaging 21.2 the last 5 games, only 11.2 usage. He is averaging at 20.8 fantasy points. He's projected roughly about 18 in this matchup. At 7.5, I'm not looking for a whole bunch of value. I just need him, if he can give me that 20, 25 fantasy points. I'm mainly using him for the extra salary that I can put elsewhere. But I need still to have him at least get 20 fantasy points down in the utility slot to be a viable candidate there. Can he do it? Absolutely, especially against the Lakers. I just need him to be on the floor more than Paul Reed. How I did my lineup construction, the free lineup I'm about to show you with these asterisks that I'm throwing out. I left money on the table so that way Tobias Harris plays, I can swap out Oubre, and if I feel Reed, I even might keep a lineup, same lineup, and then just do a duplicate lineup and switch Mo Bamba for Paul Reed, just to have basically one of the same lineup. So that's, I guess, 2 free lineups for you guys. But yeah, other than that, Anthony Davis, for as good as a basketball player is, it just doesn't seem like he plays defense against bigs. I mean, he does get blocks and things like that, but it just seems like bigs against Lakers, especially for some reason, it's a crazy stat. I've seen it. Google it. He has a terrible time with European bigs. Yeah. It's insane. I'm not trying to start anything, but it's a weird stat. Look it up. I mean, if you don't believe me, it's weird. Whatever that cause may be. But yeah, other than that, I got nothing else to add. If you have anything to add before we head over here to what everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah, the free lineups, when you see my lineup, you were going to see Reed and Bamba and Oubre in the same lineup. That's with or without Tobias Harris. I still like this lineup regardless of that for me personally. The reason I'm going Reed and Bomba is because I could see them I could see them splitting the time, and they both can hit value at 9,500 and at 7,500. If they both got 25 minutes or roughly around there, I could see them both hitting and exceeding value. And it's a little contrarian going, two centers from the same team. But yeah, that's my little asterisk next to that.
Yeah.
So,
Bunch of asterisks in this matchup, but here we go. Now, if you jumped ahead, here's what you get to see, but none of the information that explains why. So if you do want the information, go ahead and go back, listen to at least the breakdown of the players, and you'll understand more about these lineups. But they're looking pretty good, pretty different. Both few points here. I like it. So as we wrap it up today, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It does help us out quite a bit. Make sure the notifications on, as if any news, especially with LeBron James and Tobias Harris, come out, be posting that down in the comments section as soon as I get that news. If as a bonus, we like to throw in 2 free price picks, the best basically plays, prop picks for this matchup specifically. So it might not be over the 54.3%, but it will be the best, the 2 best value plays for tonight's matchup. It's just basically our way to say thank you. Welcome to DFS community. We won last time when the Lakers played, so here's the hoping we see not only us up on the leaderboard. We want to hear from you guys that you're actually hitting that leaderboard too. So if you do hit the leaderboard with or without our information and you're part of the community, throw it down there in the comment section. We want people to recognize that we're winning and getting some decent information out to you guys. So with that, good luck. Let's win. Take it away.
Yep. Good luck to everyone out there. Stay tuned. We only got, like I mentioned, about 12, 13 games left here until the playoff start. That's when the real fun here is gonna definitely be happening. And again, we'll be covering UFC 300, so that will be coming out. We will be dropping that podcast. Probably the Monday or Tuesday before the Saturday. UFC fights are always on Saturdays, so keep your eye out for that. That's not till April, but yep. Good luck to everybody. Hope to see you up there at the top during the leaderboard, and yep, get that money.